Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello. And we are reading again from the Elemental Wisdom Tarot deck. It is a absolutely gorgeous tarot deck that has been lovingly lent to me by my dear friend and tarot student Taylor. And she has offered to let me read from this deck the entire month of May. So I've been excited and reading from this one. I love the images in it. I do not love the font. I will, of course, mention that again, I'm sure, 100 times in this episode as well as in future talks about these cards. Other than that, I think they're stunning, and they do stick to kind of the traditional Rider-Waite symbolism. There's been a few surprises on things and some things that I'm not too sure about, but otherwise, I think they're a pretty decent deck for somebody that does know what they're doing with tarot cards. If you're super new at it, you will have to go get a different book to study these or go online and study the Rider-Waite symbolism that goes with them because they do not come with their own book, which I think is always a drawback for a new reader. So without further ado, though, let's see what card we have for today. Oh, fun. Okay, this is a fun one. All right, we have the moon, which you cannot tell from the font because it looks like a big scribble on the bottom there. And I'll just keep saying that over and over again. So the moon is one of the major arcana cards. It is, as you can see, card number 18 up here written in Roman numerals. Trust me, learn your Roman numerals if you're going to read tarot cards. It becomes very valuable. Continuing with the trend of these cards being absolutely stunning, she is gorgeous, and I love the profile that she is depicted in with like the moon behind her head, and also the red flowers. I'm going to get into those in a second. This card does come up upright, so all of the symbolism and things that we associate with the moon in the upright position is what we will associate with this card, but also I'll talk a little bit about the reverse symbolism too. The moon is typically going to be about nighttime and dreams and sleep and all of those kinds of things, but also secrets and hidden knowledge and more esoteric energy. It is a very feminine card, so I'm grateful to see a feminine figure on here. Usually there is not a feminine figure at all. There is not any figure on here. It is typically represented with a lake or a stream in the front, some sort of body of water, and there are two towers in the background, and you have usually a wolf or a coyote and a dog, domestic dog, at the banks of the water. They have found a creative way to include one of the other animals, which is the crayfish, but I want to talk a little bit about the dog and the coyote and maybe why it's okay that they're not here in this case, but we'll see. So typically the dog and the coyote being represented is because you have your kind of wild instinctive side and you have your community working together with other people kind of character with the dog. So loyalty and yet that need to be wild and free. So the crayfish is more about like those deep thoughts and the subconscious and all of those kinds of things. And I absolutely love that it is tattooed on her. I don't know how clear that is on there, but it is a tattoo of a crayfish on her torso. And I think that that's great. Of course, that also shows me that, you know, what are the two towers that they're representing are kind of maybe her cleavage, but you know, whatever, read into it what you will. There is a pathway kind of going to her. She seems to be both human and corporeal as well as goddess-like and ethereal. It's sort of both with her character. Her hands and her upper body and her torso seem to be human until you start looking at this card closer and then you're like, oh, she kind of becomes the landscape. So I don't know. It is the full moon represented behind her head, which is really cool, and it illuminates the card really nicely. I think the colors on this are great. And then I want to go into the poppies, because I'm pretty sure what those are is poppies. I'm going to go with they are poppies. Why am I going with that? Because if anybody knows the symbolism of flowers, which I don't think I've gone into much in this because I don't have a lot of flower stuff in my cards, but in the symbol of flowers, the poppy represents sleep and eternal sleep, as well as death and dreams and coming through information that comes through dreams. So all of these things are represented by the moon. So I love that they put the poppies on there. They also make a great bright color, bright red pop to this rather muted card. So artistically speaking, I love the poppies. I love that they are kind of tucked in her hair, which is also like, hey, I'm coming in to you, into your mind from your higher consciousness, and here's some information. Here's a download for you. I talk a lot about downloads in my latest book. But yes, the everything about this card does hold true to what I feel the moon represents. The pathway between the mountains and like kind of into her in a way, yeah, it is. It's like she kind of becomes the mountains. It's kind of neat. It's like her cloak and her legs become the mountains. But her hands may also be representative of those two towers. Again, it's that balance between the darkness and light. It is a crossroads. It is a passing through a gateway. All of these things that are represented with lunar energy and the darkness and the more esoteric of like, hey, I'm passing information through to you from a gateway from the other side kind of thing. So she does have a lot of jewelry and stuff on. It's very hard for me to see, but it does look like, oh, okay, I was totally wrong. This got me. Her buttons, her medallions, one is a wolf and one is a dog. They are represented. That's amazing. I did not even see that until I looked again at this card. Okay, so they are represented in a brilliant way. They are on her body. So you have the crayfish tattoo, you have the animals represented in her clothing. This is kind of brilliant. I gotta say, this is aesthetically a brilliant moon card. Also, I just want to say, if you ever want to like cosplay as tarot cards, there's a costume for you. Be the moon with poppies in her hair and the medallions and everything. That would make kind of a cool costume. All right. Anyway, I really dig this card, and if you are willing to look a little more closely at it, I think you will get all of the symbols out of it. That said, if you don't know what you're looking for, you might think, why has she got a badger or whatever the heck that is on her blouse? But, you know, if you know what you're looking for, this is gorgeous, and I love these cards. Again, I'll say it again, the drawback to these is the font. I just do not like it. But other than that, I am finding some really unique ways for these cards to represent the symbology of the tarot, as well as being just visually stunning and aesthetically pleasing. And also, I think I mentioned it before, the cards themselves are kind of a satin finish, and I think that that's absolutely wonderful too. They're nice. They're nice to touch. I know I can't convey that through video, but they really are. They're wonderful to touch. These cards bring joy to my heart, truly, truly. I think they're lovely. If you would like a reading but with these cards or any of the cards that I have or have shown in the past, please let me know. Check out the links in the description. Also, I'm super excited that Taylor has let me borrow her tarot cards again. Try to say that 3 times fast. And I hope to have her on with me again in the future. If you want to see Taylor talk about the cards that we did in April, she talks about a video game deck, and they're really cool. So until next time, please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!